It was the 1990s, a big show in a small town off I-75 in Georgia. They were called the biggest cocks in the henhouse. But things have changed since then. It's been 30 years, and they finally found a home here, like everyone else, doing a podcast. It's Erica and Mark, the phone call podcast thing.
Hello.
Mushy mushy, hello. Taking Japanese lessons. You like that?
Oh, yeah, because you're getting ready for your toy.
Yeah, gonna have Japanese food later, and maybe that's what more. Has
Oh,
to do
okay.
with it.
I know. Okay.
What
I
toy? I'm gonna get a Japanese toy. What toy am I
I
getting?
thought you're gonna get one of those toys that the fake people.
Oh, the
toy
robot!
people.
Look, we promise not to talk about the robot here anymore because I don't want questions from the 3 people I know who listen to this. Are you really getting a robot? No. Why would I get a robot?
You people are fine.
Yeah.
I'm not replacing you with an AI friend.
I like all of you equally. What would I do with a robot?
That is so funny. When people hear people are going to be running around, they're freaking out because they may lose jobs, but it'll come to the point where you'll actually lose friends.
That's again, friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, all
family.
Yeah.
I have a sister now that I programmed.
All the incels in the world are going to have the hottest, most expensive robots because they could never pull a real woman in the world. They're going to, it's going to be good. That should be, remember the movie Ready Player One?
You told me about this a while back on another podcast.
It's about a very near future where everybody lives in a video game world. What's really going to happen is everybody's going to be living in trailer parks because nobody can afford nothing. And they're going to be able to make payments on these smoking hot sex robots. And that's what all these incels are going to, really, it's what everybody's going to do. Everybody's going to live in trailer parks where the trailers are all stacked up on top of each other. And they're all going to have sex robots and never go out of the house.
Because they already do that now with anime.
Right. It's the same thing, but real. This is
almost.
You're making me want to go to Japan just to see if this is real. I don't want to participate, but I would like to do a little research simply for comedic purposes. But I'm not going to do that. I am going to continue to take Japanese lessons, though. That way I can more effectively order my filet. And I'm going to go with shrimp, I think. Filet and shrimp.
So a filet what?
Just
like steak?
Filet mignon. You can get a filet mignon, and you can get a shrimp. You can get a chicken. You can get scallops. You can get. Have you never been to a Japanese hibachi? You haven't, have you?
No. To my understanding, all that is just it's just like Chinese food, right, or sushi, or whatever.
It's so much better. It is. But it's better. The sauces are different. They prepare it and cook it right in front. There's a whole show that usually
they cook. Wait a minute, is that where we went for New Year's that time?
Did we go there for New Year's? I don't remember, dude.
Remember, there's somebody who made a pile of rice and then they made smoke come out of it?
Yes, that is where we went for New Year's that time, yes.
And I was bugging out because I saw a mafia movie one time where the guy was doing the tricks with the thing.
Yes.
So they cut the guy's head off in half.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at the restaurants. That was just in a movie.
Yeah, but... Yeah. I know, but I don't think I enjoyed that meal.
Yeah,
at all.
I think you were also scared by the big onion volcano where they pour in the oil and set it on fire.
Yes. I last time I remember pyrotechnics in a nightclub situation, Great White had a big lawsuit.
Yeah. You're like a toddler who went to high school. That's what you are.
Good one.
I didn't say graduated. I said went.
I have a lot of unnecessary fears.
Yeah. You certainly. Do you see my new T-shirt? Can you see it on the camera there? Can you see that?
WDIZ.
Yeah.
That's Orlando, right?
That's correct. Rock 100.
No longer exists?
No, it's a Spanish station now, I think.
Oh, all the good ones are gone.
Yeah, I think that's where the WSHE call letters went when they blew it up in Miami. They sent it to Orlando and they made it 100.3 She, but it was like adult contemporary music for women, WSHE.
Women for She's.
Yeah, exactly. We're all she's on She. And of course that didn't last, and I'm sure it's Spanish now like every other fucking good radio station is.
Oh man. They were legendary. That She studio was in a trailer park.
I remember. I was there. It was a shithole.
Yes.
It was the biggest rock station in Miami, and it was in like Davie or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, right across the street from there was Broward Community College.
Yeah.
And then there was Nova Elementary School, and on the other side of Nova Elementary School was Nova High School. That's where I went to high school. So we would go there at lunchtime and bother people.
What does that mean, bother people?
Well, knocking on their door to get a license plate.
Oh, so you're like, hey, is Sonny Fox
T-shirts.
here? We really want we really want a T-shirt. God, you're old.
Yeah,
Sonny,
I know.
You didn't know that I knew that Sonny Fox worked at that station in the 80s.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He was there. He was there right after he left Y100, or vice versa.
I think he was. I think he was at She first. Then he went
She first.
Then he got famous at Y100 because that was the really big station.
Yeah. That was those shirts are nice.
Dude, I got this on I don't know, like T Public or T Republic or some shit. So I got this. I got a K-Fog shirt from San Francisco, which also no longer exists. I got a 95 YNF shirt. What else did I get? I got a 96 Rock shirt from Atlanta. And I got a KLOS shirt, that has the 80s logo. From Los Angeles, and I can't think of the other one. I got a couple of more, but I had a coupon, and these are nice quality shirts. They fit well. They're soft. They're very comfy. So I'm
it's
old.
Nice and bright.
It's a big. This is the old DIZ logo from the '80s, not from the '90s when Rocco worked there.
Oh, I didn't know he worked in there too.
Yeah, I helped him get that job. Mike Beck was the program director there, and I would hang out with Mike at all the conventions and shit. And Rocco found out that they had an afternoon opening there, so he sent a tape to Mike, and Mike called me and he said, "Hey, you know this guy Rocco? He's over on your coast in Florida." And I was in Macon then, and I'm like, "Of course I know Rocco." And he's like, "Really? I said, "He's perfect for your station. You got to get him out of Fort Myers. He's dying down there."
Oh, that's right. That's what he was down at Fort Myers.
Yeah, he was down at Rock 106 in Fort Myers. And so next thing I know, Rocco calls me and says, "Hey, I'm going to Orlando." I'm like, "Oh, you talked to Mike Beck, huh?" He's like, "Did you talk to Mike Beck?" I'm like, "I might have talked to Mike Beck." And he's like, "You son of a bitch. Oh, my God, what am I going to do?" I'm like, "You're going to go to Orlando and talk to Mike Beck," which is what he did, and got that job. And he did great there for a couple of years. And then Ron Valeri or somebody from AAF. Oh, I also got a WAAF T-shirt from Boston. Somebody from AAF, I think it was Ron, was on vacation in Orlando and heard Rocco and called him and said, "Hey, how would you like to come to Boston to do nights?" And Rocco's like, "What do I do? I've only been in Orlando. This is a great job in Orlando." I said, "Go to fucking Boston, dude. They're going to pay you out the ass."
Oh, yeah.
And then he did. He was up there for, oh, God, it had to be 6, 7, 8 years, something like that, before they finally
I know he was there
fired
for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, is he alive?
No, he died at least 10 years
ago.
He did
pass.
Yeah. Yeah, he died when he was in his 40s. I went to his funeral.
What did he die of?
We're not sure, but he was living here in Sarasota, I guess. So after he left AAF, I forget why he left AAF. I don't know. I think they might have just not. So he was doing nights when Opie and Anthony were doing afternoons. And then Opie and Anthony left and went to D.C., and then they put Rocco in afternoons, where he did great. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if they just didn't renew his contract. They might have been paying him too much, but they got rid of him or he quit. And he ended up going to Portland, Oregon to KUFO. And
oh, wow.
I know. I was on the phone with him the whole time he was driving out there. It was, cell phones were still new. And he got to Portland, he didn't like it very much. And he wasn't there for very long. He was there maybe a matter of months. And he was not supposed to have girls in the studio. So what's the first thing he gets in trouble for? Having girls in the studio doing 7 to midnight. Strippers. I don't know what was going on. He got busted and they fired him. So he was driving back to Sarasota, and he got a job in Cleveland at WMMS on the Buzzard doing the morning show.
Wow.
So nice. then he goes to Cleveland, and it just I guess the synergy wasn't there. It just wasn't. He wasn't a good fit for their morning show, and I think that was the end of his radio. His diabetes had gotten pretty bad too.
I know. I remember he was kind of heavy.
Oh, kind of heavy. He was 450 pounds at his peak, but he was, he was losing weight, and I don't know what happened. I did.
I lost.
Had something strange.
I lost track of him
something strange happened at his funeral, but I don't know if the diabetes got him or what. I talked to his son, little Rocco Jr.'s, who got raised at AAF with him. That's a whole other story. But I was sitting there with my friend Gwen, and Gwen looks up. I'm talking to somebody else from one of the other radio stations, who knew Frank, and Gwen is like pinching me, and I'm like, what? I'm talking to David, and he said, why? Or Gwen said, why is my ex-husband here? And I said, oh, I never met your ex-husband. Where's your ex-husband? Over there, standing up in the front. And I said, which one is him? And she's like, the one with the mustache. And I said, the one talking to Frank's Coke dealer? And she was like, that's my ex-husband's Coke dealer. I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense now. So I hope he wasn't doing that. And that's because if you have diabetes like that and you're, getting older, that'll kill you fast. Like real fast. But I honestly don't know. We never got a straight answer as to what happened to him. He just he passed away suddenly, and it was very sad. We didn't get to say goodbye.
I didn't know. I thought he was gone, but I didn't know if he was gone or not. But I didn't know he died that long ago.
Oh yeah, it's got to be at least 2014, 2015.
So he was like my age then, or close.
I think he was in his 40s. I think he was 46, 47 back then.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think he was probably 10 years older than me or so, something like that.
Yeah, because I remember when we used to talk to him when he was on mornings. I remember the time what was it like? The one that sticks in my head was something about there was a story behind it, but behind typo negative.
Was it typo negative?
Were they playing a concert like in the morning or something?
Well, Godsmack was his band that he discovered. Oh my God, it was further. I just Googled it. I said whatever happened to Rocco, WAAF, and it says here Rocco and Birdsey. That's what it was. It was Rocco and Birdsey doing afternoons after Opie and Anthony. He died January 19th, of 2012.
Wow. Okay.
He was 46. And it says here that he died from a heart attack. And fans and peers were citing complications from diabetes. So that's kind of what we thought.
Yeah.
But, we just didn't know. It just says here, specific medical reports were not publicly highlighted. Discussions among peers and fans mentioned a heart attack and health issues. He is remembered as a funny and memorable personality from AAF's rock era. He was great, man. He was one of my closest friends for a long time. And it was sad that he just died as fast as he did. I can't believe it was 2012. Oh
wow.
My God, man. My perception of time is it's not worth shit anymore. When did the Twin Towers fall? Oh, that was at least 6, maybe 7 years ago now. No, that was 25 years ago now. It's been long time.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was 56, 60. Yeah, he was about my age then. He was probably close to my age.
Well, if he was 46 in 2012, I'd be afraid to do the math there. Hey, Siri. If I was 46 years old in 2012, what year was I born? Because I'm not doing that math.
Would you like me to use ChatGPT?
Yes, use ChatGPT. That'd be nice.
You were born in 1966.
Oh, so he was the same age as me. He was born in 1966. He's a year older than me.
Oh, okay. So he's younger than I am.
Dude, how old am I now? How old am I? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know how old any of us are.
66?
I am not 66.
76, 86,
96. Yeah?
No, you can't be. Couldn't have been born in 1966.
I was born in 67.
67.
Yeah,
okay.
my birthday is Saturday, if that helps you.
7 years. You are 7 years younger than I am.
And yet,
you don't want to know what that is.
And yet, mentally, I am 30 years younger than you.
Man, you're running me down. You're aging.
I know, rapidly. You know how every time you have a birthday.
We were like, when you and I first met, we were like 20 years apart in age.
Yeah, now I'm catching you.
I know.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. It's wild. How the hell does that even happen?
You know what this means?
Wow.
This is all from the accident that happened at CERN back in 2012. You know, the big super collider in Europe. The Large Hadron Collider. Big accident happened there back in 2012. It just ended the world. And what's going on now is all a simulation, Mark. It's all fake.
And I think in 2012 is when I started getting that little patch missing in the back of my head. Here.
See? CERN patch.
My son said to me, he goes, I look at you and I'm really mad. And I go, why? You promised me that we'll live a little longer than average, and we're going to die with our hair. And it doesn't look that way with yours, and I feel like I'm next.
I think the hair you have now is the hair you're going to have. I do.
This is well, the hole's getting bigger.
I never see your hair because you're always wearing a goddamn baseball hat. I mean, you're 66 years old. Why you dress like a skateboarder? Oh, that's why. Mark just took his hat off on the camera, and now I can see. Yeah, I'd wear a hat too. Yeah. Yep.
No, I don't wear a hat everywhere. I just did a gym, and when you see me wearing a hat, you know what this says?
What?
I did not get up and comb my hair today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have plenty of days like that, but now that my daughter lives here, I have to comb my hair more, which has been good for me.
Now I go to the meetings. I have to wear. I have to not wear a hat because we take them off to say a prayer, and you don't want me to do this at the meeting. It'll look like I'm back on it again.
Wow, yeah, you can't lead a meeting looking like something from a cartoon. Yeah, you look like a cartoon from Nickelodeon. You can't lead a meeting looking like that.
No. My hair requires product.
Yeah. For those of you watching at home, Mark looks like one of the characters on Phineas and Ferb.
I don't know which one that is, but you're right.
Yeah, you should go look at it. You'll figure it out pretty fast.
All right, let's take a quick break because I found something that I found very interesting that has answered a question to me, and it has to do with CERN.
Oh, really?
A question that I've always brought up. And we've talked about it before, and it was like, I thought it was just gaslighting, but I don't think it is.
Is this going to be a religious-related discussion because you think it opened up a portal to hell or something like that, the demons?
I know we're going to do that eventually, but no, and that's if it hasn't already happened. No, but this is something. This is something that everybody can understand.
Even me?
Yes. We'll take a quick break.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
All right, CERN. I have really studied the Large Hadron Collider a little more than I care to admit or would like to tell people about. But it is, as we know, it is the largest machine in the world. And the public story is it was built to smash subatomic particles together. You know, they're trying to create antimatter for reasons of perpetual power. I don't know. I'm sure it has something to do with Star Trek. I don't understand. But did you know that this whole thing has been around since the 50s? The European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN. It was established in 1954, right around the same time that President Eisenhower allegedly had a meeting with some extraterrestrials who literally were flying over Washington, D.C. Yeah, right around the same time that happened. Since then, it's gone to 22 member states. There's a lot of conspiracy theories around the CERN, like that they created a black hole, and maybe that's what happened and why we're living in a simulation now because we were destroyed in a black hole. Some people think, yes, it does open up a portal to another dimension, what the hell was that TV show with MacGyver that was in it? I can't think of the name of the show. But anyway, Stargate.
Oh, okay.
They think they're making stargates out of there. They think they can use it to create earthquakes. Some people think that it's It's a time traveling machine. You can access time travel with that thing. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy conspiracies that people think are going on, but the place is huge. It's something like 13 miles. It's a big circle underground that's 13 miles long. And the Large Hadron Collider uses a bunch of electromagnets that are cooled to something like 450 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's how they speed up all these particles, using magnets and cold. And they run them in opposite directions, and then they collide them. And then the physicists observe the results. Seems kind of like a pretty single-minded thing for the world's largest machine, doesn't it?
For what they're doing with it? Yeah. Well, I think there's what they're doing with it that they tell you, and then there's what they're doing with it, what they're not telling you.
I'm sure that we don't know the half of what... There's a woman who claims that she used to work there, and she has been a whistleblower for CERN for the last several years. I've seen her videos popping up on YouTube, but they don't ever get enough traction. A lot of times her videos get deleted, which also makes me suspicious. Dude, if I were you, I would not watch her videos because they will keep you up at night. You can't handle the truth.
I've seen one. That's the one I was talking about. I saw watched a portion of a podcast. They were teasing the podcast, but I thought it was interesting. They were there's a lady too, and I think she said she was either had something to do with it or has been following it or something. But the bottom line was she said during 2012 get my things confused.
That's when the Mayan calendar ended, Mark. Let's try and keep those all straight.
Yeah, well, the 2012 when they did or whenever they had that collision, supposedly that's exactly when. All of a sudden, we started getting this, what they call the Mandella Effect.
Right.
Where, where there's things that people swear they grew up with.
We remember things just a little differently than they are. Right.
Yeah.
Like what was there was a movie that had Shaquille O'Neal in it where he was like
a genie or something?
No, yeah, you're right. It wasn't Shaquille O'Neal.
No, that was Sinbad.
It was Sinbad. Sinbad was, but that movie doesn't exist. Where
Sinbad I know, I can't find it anywhere. And I
all remember it.
I could have sworn my kid's seen that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it doesn't exist if you go look at it.
And we would have got it from Blockbuster. That's how long ago it was. It was a VHS tape.
Right.
But you can't find it anywhere. Has anybody ever asked him that? I want to ask Gentry.
They actually have asked him that. They've asked him. All right, so here are some examples of the Mandela Effect. Darth Vader's quote in Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Does he say, what does he say? You saw that movie. You were in your 30s back when that movie came out in the 80s.
Well, I was busy during the 80s. But
when he gives Luke the big news, what does he say?
Luke, I'm not your father.
Luke, I am.
No, yeah. No, I'm sorry. That's Maury Povich.
Maury Povich or Jerry Springer. That's a different show. It's a different show. Jesus Christ. Trying to have a serious discussion here with you. A lot of people think that Darth Vader says, Luke, I am your father. But he says no. He does not say, Luke, I'm your father. He says, no, I am your father. Not Luke, I'm your father. Just no, I am your father. And then Luke says, that's not possible. What about Febreze? Remember Febreze?
Oh, what is that one? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's it's how do you spell Febreze? No, the internet doesn't want me talking about this stuff, man. I'm being censored.
I know.
What else? Fruit of the Loom. So everybody remembers what the Fruit of the Loom logo looks like. You got the little cornucopia with the logo, right?
Yeah, why would it just be fruit just piled there? There's no way in the world they ever just piled fruit. It would at least been a fruit basket of some sort.
No, the basket never existed.
Not true. There's
That's
impossible
what it says.
no one has ever put a pile of fruit somewhere and called it a day.
Well, again, this is what's going on, and it's all probably because of CERN.
Yeah, that's what she was saying. It's just You can call it coincidence, but it seems to have been right around the same time. All of a sudden, this timeline that we were living on is completely erased.
Her name is Dr. Astrid Stuckelberger. I think she's Swedish or Norway, or I don't know where she's from. One of those cold ass countries where she's blonde.
And I think that would make sense, because if you want to try to erase history and everything else and try to make things out the way you want them to go so you can control the narrative better, that would be the way to do it.
Time's going a lot faster than it used to go as well, isn't it? Time just flies by now.
Oh, God. Well, look where we're at right now.
I know.
We are literally, one day away from April.
And somehow, I'm catching you
just
in
January.
age. It should be impossible for me to catch you in age. And yet,
oh, gotcha. I
it's
had
happening.
a big head start.
I used to be 10 to 15 years younger than you. Now it's down to like 7. CERN. It's all the super collider fucking with me.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just incredible. It's like,
Publishers Clearinghouse. Who was the big guy for Publishers Clearinghouse back in the day?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it was Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon swears he
remember
never
him
had.
being in.
Ed says he never had any affiliation with the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Ed was. Everyone knows Ed was one of the world's most famous Otises.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He was a real life Otis. And if you ever did you ever watch the Larry Sanders Show on HBO?
Yes.
Jeffrey Tambor plays the best not Ed McMahon character ever.
I know.
Now I want to go watch Larry Sanders. I love that show so much.
He's one of my favorites. Gary
Oh my
Shandling.
God, I watched an episode of that recently, and it was my favorite episode, where Hank has a broken tooth or something, and he comes in the room and everybody's laughing behind his back, and Hank knows they're laughing at him, and he's like, "What the fuck is so funny about what happened to my tooth, Larry? What the fuck?" And he's just screaming at him and swearing at him, and he just says, "Well, I mean, it's just a broken tooth, Hank. He's like, "Well, what's so funny about a broken tooth?" He's like, "Well, it's your back tooth. If you say you fell and chipped it, I don't know how you did it." That's what we're trying to figure. And he's just flipping out. It's the dumbest stuff that it had to be taken from real life, because that show could not have been that funny just making stuff up. They had to be pulling things that actually happened to, people like Ed McMahon or something. Show was so funny. And for all I know, it's all part of the Mandella Effect. It never existed.
Oh, yeah, they'll probably tell you that next. There's no such thing as a Gary Shandling comedian or a show featuring him.
That's not true. I just watched it.
You got it wrong. That was Jerry Seinfeld that had a television show, not Gary Shandling.
Stop it. Now you're messing with everybody's heads. Do you remember the TV show Sliders? Do you ever watch Sliders?
No.
Sliders. Remember the big guy from Indiana Jones who was his Middle Eastern contact? Indy. Oh yes, good to see you, my friend.
Oh, honestly, I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie.
God, how have you never seen one of the best movies ever made in the history of ever?
I did see. I was on the Indiana Jones ride at Universal.
Look, if everyone listening right now wants to stop listening to this podcast because Mark hasn't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, I will understand. I'm not going to listen to this podcast.
Was that in the 80s?
Yeah, it was 81.
How many times do I have to say I was busy?
In 81? What were you doing in 81? You were 16.
No, I wasn't.
You were 20, and I was.
Yes, I graduated high school in 1977.
I was just smelling that white powder. I wasn't doing anything. I was just smelling it.
I was gone for a whole decade.
I can't even talk to you about Sliders now because you don't know anything about anything. Sliders was a show about this kid who created a wormhole that him and his friends jumped into, and they would slide to alternate parallel Earths, where sometimes things were very similar, but sometimes they were dinosaurs. It was a very interesting show.
Oh, that was kind of wild.
It was a great show. It was really good. There was
Was it on in like a sitcom type?
no,
thing or
no.
whatever?
I think it was on. I think it was on Fox. Maybe I think it was when Fox first came out, like in the late '90s, early 2000s.
They weren't afraid of nothing back then.
Man, it was a great show, Mark. It was there was this older college professor who was kind of arrogant and very smart, and there was his star pupil who was the kid who created the little wormhole, and then it was his girlfriend, and then there was this random dude, I guess because a focus group needed a black guy in the show, and he was the black guy of the show, and he was driving down the road in his '64 Impala convertible. He was some like wedding singer or something, and he accidentally drove through the wormhole and got sucked into the wormhole, and then they couldn't find their way back to their Earth. And every now and then, like once a season, they would get to the point where, oh, we're home. This is right. We're home. And they would go through like, the whole episode of like, oh my God, I can't believe it. We're never using this. We got to destroy this machine. And then something would happen in the episode where they realized, we're not actually home. This is so close. But Hitler's still alive, like something they would see something that would make him realize we're not home. We have to keep trying. So that was the whole point of the show, was to keep jumping in, and they only had a certain time. There was a timer on the machine that would spawn the wormhole. It was a random timer. Sometimes it'd be for just a few minutes or seconds, and other times it would be for days or weeks. And they'd have to look at the thing. All right, how long are we here for? It was a very inventive show because you could literally do anything. It was like, of course, you jump into where the Nazis won the war and everybody's all scared. You jump into this Richard Nixon is still president in the 90s, and Kennedy never died. There was another one where everything was a utopia, and they were like, we're just going to stay here, but there's always something that makes them leave. And I'm telling you, if you ever stumble on to reruns on one of your old man TV show networks, and there's a show called Sliders, I assure you it is not about hamburgers.
I like time travel shows and movies.
Well, it's not even a time travel. It's a parallel Earth show. And then it gets a little crazy toward the end because some aliens figure out that they have this device, and then the aliens come after them. I forget. It's been a long time since I've seen that show. Mandela Effect. Maybe it never existed. Maybe I was the star of Sliders, and maybe I'm just remembering my actual life.
Google Sliders, see if it's there. This will be so.
You know what? That's a good idea. Sliders TV show. Did it exist? Yes, there were 5 seasons from 1995 on. It is an American science fiction.
1995.
Yes, 95.
Oh, I was.
You were in Macon.
Married
you were
then.
in Macon, Georgia back then, Mark.
Yeah.
They travel between different parallel Earths in a vortex-like wormhole activated by a handheld timer. I remembered it right. This is good. Now they're forced to slide between universes, spending minutes to months there, waiting for the timer to count down until the next time they can open up a vortex to a new universe, hoping it's their original one.
To eventually get back home.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. That's a great concept.
Oh, dude, it's a great show. It really was.
So did it just get canceled, or did they have a natural closing?
I think that they had some arguments over egos. The professor got a pretty big ego, and I want to be the star of this show, and he wasn't really the star of the show. It's like, look, you're great on the show, and the show needs you. You're not the star of the show. It's actually the guy who was Jerry O'Connell was the star of the show, and.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, and
he's still around, that guy.
Yeah, and it wasn't like on purpose, and I don't remember at least Jerry O'Connell, getting a big ego about it, saying, "Well, you can't make him the star of the show. I'm the star of the show." I think he was just like, he's like, "Hey, man, let's all just keep this thing. We got a good thing going here. Let's not fuck it up." And the old professor fucked it up, and I think they ditched him on a certain planet, and he was just gone. John Rhys Davies was the professor. He was Professor Maximilian Arturo. And then Jerry O'Connell was his mentor, he was Jerry O'Connell's mentor. And then there was Wade's friend Sabrina, and then there was Crying Man Brown, who was the black guy who accidentally got caught in the first text of the vortex. Like I said, because you got to have black guy on the show, you can't just have a bunch of fucking white people. It's the 90s, for God's sake. We're starting to branch out. We're letting black people do things now in the 90s. We hadn't gotten to Hispanic people yet by the 90s. That took until the 2000s to do. Things had to go slow. But Roger Daltrey was on this show once.
Really?
Yes, they had some interesting guest stars. Will Sasso was on this show once. There's a whole freaking thing that still swirls around this show because it was very well written and it was very well produced also. Fox canceled the show after the third season. Then it got picked up by the Sci-Fi Channel. And Jerry O'Connell felt that the Sci-Fi Channel was looking to maintain its action base over the darker sci-fi elements that they were doing over on Fox. Lloyd did not return to the series when it was revived. That was his girlfriend. A source later came forward claiming that she was fired because she was jealous. What? So his brother. That's right. His brother eventually got written into the show. I forgot about that. Everybody was fighting over money. That I do remember. It's like, you're getting paid more than me. Well, I want double what they're making now.
Oh, that must have happened. That must have been during the Friends time. When Friends
probably
stirred all that
was,
crap
yeah,
up.
yeah. Everybody
when they started finding out that TV will actually pay millions of dollars if you let them,
yeah.
if you make them, not if you let them,
because nobody knew how much money these TV shows were making, probably for real. And once they figured out, they're like, you should be paying us more, kind of like what we never did in Macon. Hey, I know you're paying me $17,000 a year, and we just did a 11-minute commercial break that was probably paid for my entire salary for the year. You think you'd spread some of that out a little more? No? Oh, okay. Well, we'll just keep doing it then. That was pretty much how we did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I couple of times I don't know. I always thought to myself, I was just we should have got an agent. Let him shop us around.
Yeah.
It's worth the 10%.
I suppose. I don't know, man. I don't know how good we were. I don't know how good we are now. I only know that 4 or 5 people listen to the show, and we know all of them. So
yeah, it's true.
Wow, you're real easy to convince of things, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, that's why I needed an agent, because that's how I negotiate.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I should have not had you negotiating with these stations. I should have done it. I just didn't care. I was fine. I was fine where we were. I really was. I was okay.
The one I thought we had for sure was the sea basses.
Oh, on the Gator.
They took sea bass over us. That was a big mistake. Yeah, he came from Tampa.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why he wasn't still in Tampa.
Yeah, well, he's dead now, and look at us.
Is he dead too?
No, he died a while ago. Let's Google that. Let me use my Rocco page. Whatever happened to sea bass?
Yeah, to write this down. This is becoming a segment. Dead DJs.
Yeah, what's the call letters? The WXTB. Let's see what Seabass. Seabass's real name unknown. He was there in the 90s hosting the All Request Morning Show. He got fired in July of 94, which is probably when we were looking to go.
Makes sense.
What was it? What the hell was that town over there? Where it was? It was
West Palm.
No, it wasn't in West Palm. The Gator was like north of West Palm. It was like in...
Oh, no. It was licensed to West Palm, but the station was actually in...
it was like in Jupiter or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jupiter or something like that, yeah.
All right.
They moved it to West Palm, but it was actually licensed. The other rock station were the... what was the name of it? The Love Doctors?
Oh, yeah.
They were actually broadcasting out of like Stewart or Fort Pierce.
I can't find out if he's alive or dead here. It doesn't. I'm going to dive deeper in AI mode to see where he was abruptly fired in 94. He was let go because his personality-driven style was reportedly clashing with the station's shift toward a more music-intensive format, which means that he was probably fighting with that little Klingon motherfucker who was running that place.
Well, I mean, he was just talking, and trying to entertain people. It's silly.
Yeah,
silly.
I hear it says right here.
Well, when you get put on a show called the More Morning Request Show,
you know what it was?
It's not about you.
Here's what I think it was, and I don't know this to be true, but I think that they were pressuring him to try and run him off because Bubba was doing nights on FLZ, and then he got fired. And then he went to like XL 1067 in Orlando. I think he got fired from there. And that little troll Klingon motherfucker who was running 98 Rock was friends with Bubba, and then Bubba came into 98 Rock in 1996 to do mornings.
Okay.
So that's, if I had to guess, I don't know. I just know that little Klingon bastard couldn't be trusted any further than I could kick him. Although I could probably kick him little ways. But that doesn't say if he's alive or dead, though. And I got to find out if he's dead. Is he dead? I heard he died. No. Oh, here it is. Well, Sebastian. Let's see. There's no information that a man named Seabass passed away. Okay. The search results for unrelated individuals. Oh, there's a guy from Deadliest Catch who's dead, whose name was Seabass. But maybe that's that might be what I'm thinking of, watching Deadliest Catch. Yeah, Seabass died back in 2022. That's probably what it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's disappointing.
He may be on the air under his real name now.
Holy crap, man! This the Seabass guy, this deadliest catch guy. This can't be the same guy. Oh, okay, it's not. This is the older guy, Phil Harris from Deadliest Catch. He died of sleep apnea. That's embarrassing.
Oh, that's a crappy way to go.
Right?
You're one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, and you die of sleep apnea.
Yeah. Let me go out on this super dangerous fishing boat and try not to die. All right. I get a weekend off. I'm gonna go get in a nice hotel. What do you mean I'm dead from sleeping?
That'll teach you to sleep.
So you're telling me I died in a sleeping related incident? All right. So do they make you go to hell for that because it's stupid? It was like, we can't have people this dumb in heaven. I'm sorry. Well, where else? I think you know where you're going. But I didn't do anything. It doesn't matter. You're too stupid. We can't have that up here.
It's unbelievable how you could, you could literally have one of the most dangerous jobs in the world.
Yep.
And then you go home to go to sleep and you're gone.
You die of a sleeping-related incident. All right. Let's take a break on that.
Quick break.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's all take a
nap. Take a quick break and come back, and I'm going to talk about dirty stuff.
If I die of sleep apnea, you'll know it was karma that led me to it.
Or me.
Yeah.
Erica and Mark. The phone call.
We're laughing about sleep apnea, but I wear those Breathe Right nose strips on my face every day because, I have to, or I'm going to die of sleep apnea.
Really?
Yeah, dude. They really help, especially during allergy season because I'm constantly sneezing for about 3 months. And
I've tried those.
Your face right up.
They don't stay on.
You gotta wash your face, you greasy faced idiot.
I have done it before. I use whatever you call it, soap, a facial treatment now.
No. That stuff has oils and stuff. I just use basic hand soap and just wash like that corner of my face, and then I rinse and I get a new dry towel and just kind of pat my nose around, and then I let it air dry, and then I brush my teeth and brush my hair 10 times out of obsessive compulsive order, and then I put the nose strip thing on, and that's fine. I wear it into the mornings, sometimes till lunch.
Yeah, I went to go see a ENT guy, and he was talking to me about because I have what they call mild sleep apnea. So it's not bad enough for a machine, and we're looking to see if they could fix this. in there. And
what happened to your nasal cavity, Mark? I can't imagine.
Well, no. This is kind of funny because I told him. I said, he goes. So he looked back. He goes, I don't. Remarkably, I don't see any damage really. That looks like at all coming from cocaine addiction at all. Which is surprising. He said, however, when you broke your nose or about your nose that night when I face planted on a bicycle going over a ramp when I was a kid. He said, that is bent so bad. It's got such a
curve in there. Yeah.
He said, I could fix it. But he says, it's been that way for 50 years. He says what's going to happen is it'll go right back to that shape again, and it'll be a waste of time.
So we're not going to
because
do
that. If I do this like that, like you would with his breathe, right?
Yeah.
I can breathe perfectly.
Me too.
If I don't, it's stuffed.
Yeah, all right. So properly wash your face and then let it dry, and then stick that breathe right thing on there. Unless you got grease going through your pores all the time, and I can't help you.
It could be. I don't know. I was one of those kids that didn't have pimples and stuff, but I did have a lot of blackheads and stuff on my nose when I was a kid. Oof. Those were gross.
Oof.
They were gross. They were very gross.
This whole thing is gross. Should we end the show on this, or should we talk about something else first?
I want to talk about what do you think in your home would contain the most bacteria? I thought this was really interesting.
I would think that the screen on my phone probably has more bacteria than my toilet seat.
That would be incorrect.
Really? Yeah. You don't know where my phone's been. How do you know?
You don't know what kind of pictures I take.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
There's more than just selfies.
Ew. Oh, my God. You're going to make me have to go to a meeting now. Jesus. I don't know. The most bacteria would probably be, I'm going to say the remote control on the television.
That's a good one, but and it does have, but it's not the most deadly. Not even the toilet.
Deadly. I have yet to be killed by any bacteria in my home. So,
or even house keys are listed in the top. The top four were house keys, TV remote, and then followed by the toilet seat. But number one, believe it or not,
what is it?
Coffee pot handle.
Oh, Jesus, man. When was this list made? In the
Doesn't even make
sense?
Did
they make this list in the 50s? Coffee pot handle?
Has more bacteria than a toilet seat in an average home.
Okay.
What are people doing before they get coffee?
I don't even have a coffee. Well, maybe they're, well, no, you poop after the coffee. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. No, it doesn't at all.
No. I don't trust your list today. Your list is is invalid. Your list is canceled. Get a better list next week.
Well, I had a better list, but CERN
made me realize that I didn't actually have a list.
CERN decided that I didn't have a list, and here's a list.
Right. And you remember things this way. Remember.
It's like, here's CERN. He's going, member.
Yeah, you don't watch South Park, so you don't know what member berries are, do you?
No.
Member? I member. Yeah, look up member berries sometime, and it's very funny on South Park. The amount of comedy that you have not exposed yourself to is staggering to me.
The only time I've ever seen South Park was with you.
And it was funny. Why didn't you go back and keep watching?
Very funny. Don't know. Just have a problem with watching cartoons.
What? They're not realistic enough for you? What are you looking for? You looking for documentaries? What, are you criticizing the art? It's like, oh, this art sucks. I could do so much better with construction paper and Elmer's glue.
I just grew up where cartoons were very simple.
Mm-hmm. So,
although it was made that way for young kids, and I'm sure there was probably some secret stuff that only adults could understand.
So you can't look at so Rick and Morty you never heard of.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen one episode.
Simpsons, have we seen the Simpsons? That's a cartoon,
I've seen only pieces of it, like when they show you the things on reels that say the Simpsons predicted this.
Yeah, most of that shit's fake, by the way. So don't listen to that.
It is?
Yeah, just don't listen to that.
True.
Some of it is true, and some of it makes you wonder: did Matt Groening have access to a time machine? Because some of the stuff that one that they did that very recently, which was strange, which I think he did explain it. He explained it away as he said, "Yeah, if you look at the Epstein files, I might be on there because I was it him or somebody he knew? But there was some kind of encounter with Epstein's Island, or maybe it was something he heard about. And he wrote a whole episode about it back in the late 90s or early 2000s, back when The Simpsons was still good. And Homer it was when the internet was still new. Homer discovered this thing called the internet. So he was on the internet and he was typing, the whole world is run by a bunch of weirdos on an island. And then all the letters from the sentence
I heard about
just started
that.
falling down. Yeah, that was actually true. That was true.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and I forget. Now you're gonna make me look that up. Now, hang on here. Simpsons, Epstein Island. Let's see if I can spell. Yeah, here it is. It's from December 3rd of 2000. The episode is from season 12. It's called The Computer Wore Menace Shoes. So the plot is Homer launches a gossip blog under the name Mr. X after he discovers a true conspiracy. He gets kidnapped and taken to a secret island designed to hold people who, quote, know too much. And then he escapes and gets back on his blog and says some crazy creeps on an island somewhere are secretly running the world. And then the response just kind of melts to the bottom of the page like the Matrix. And that is actually true, yeah. And I forget, did they explain it? Did they explain how they came up with that? Fact or fiction? Yeah, that's... All right, maybe there's more stuff that The Simpsons talked about that was... actually real that I don't want to think about. How do they know? How do they know? Huh?
Well, if you can be a good guesser by seeing, if you can, like somebody that would, like a visionary that would be able to play chess very well, where you can see 3 or 4 moves ahead. Those kind of people could probably put that 2 and 2 together because they're not really that.
It's weird that you would say chess because my daughter recently started playing chess to teach herself how to play chess, and I ordered a chess set which came in the mail today.
Look at that. See there?
CERN. Let's wrap it up before weirder things happen. Can we do that?
Okay. Yes. Alrighty. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, if you indeed do exist.
We're gonna get done with this thing, and they're gonna say, "What phone call? That was never a podcast.
The mandatory phone call of friendship? Never heard of her.
Never existed."
Mm-hmm.
Erica and Mark.
See you on the island.
The phone call.
Bye.